This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(1:15 p.m.) This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The President has announced plans to introduce a modernized education system in the country that can effectively address the upcoming global challenges and incorporate modern technology. China to help Sri Lanka address challenges of financial debt, Foreign Minister. Special notice on allowances for kidney patients, the disabled and elderly persons. The Disaster Management Centre says that the people of 15 districts of the 8 provinces have been affected by the dry weather condition prevailing in the country. The Paddy Marketing Board has commenced the purchasing of paddy for the yellow season in the Anuradhapura district. And in foreign news, more than 60 migrants feared dead at sea off Cape Verde coast. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe announced plans to introduce a modernized education system in the country that can effectively address the upcoming global challenges and incorporate modern technology. He highlighted the critical role of science and technology in various sectors of the world economy. Notably, he pointed out that the areas such as artificial intelligence, robotics, energy storage, blockchain technology, and genome science have significant impacts on the global economy. President Wickremesinghe made these comments during the 2019-2020 annual prize giving of Anula Vidyalaya in Nugegoda yesterday. He stressed the importance of moving forward collectively towards the future, steering away from political traditions fixated on the past. He underlined that progress for the country depends on embracing a novel education system. During the event, President Wickremesinghe also honoured accomplished female students of Anula Vidyalaya Nugegoda who excelled in the recent advanced level examination. He expressed gratitude towards the dedicated teachers and was presented with a commemorative gift by the school's principal, marking the historic occasion of the President visiting Anula Vidyalaya in Nugegoda. Further addressing the gathering, President Ranil Wickremesinghe extended his appreciation to the teachers and students, acknowledging the substantial progress of Anula Vidyalaya. He reflected on the school's humble beginnings and its transformation into one of the country's leading educational institutions. Emphasizing the school's role in shaping the future generations, he highlighted the evolution of the education system over the past 5 decades. Wang Yi, Director of the Office of the Central Commission for Foreign Affairs, vowed that China will help Sri Lanka to effectively address the challenges of financial debt yesterday. Wang, also a member of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China Central Committee and Foreign Minister, made the comments during a meeting with Sri Lankan Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena at the sidelines of the 7th China South Asian Expo in Kunming, southwest China's Yunnan province. China is always Sri Lanka's reliable strategic partner and appreciates that Sri Lanka has always been friendly to China and has stood by China on issues related to its core interests, he said. China also firmly supports Sri Lanka in safeguarding its sovereign independence and national dignity and is willing to strengthen exchanges of experience in governance as well as cooperation in various fields with Sri Lanka, he said. Wang vowed that China will help Sri Lanka improve its capacity for independent development, get rid of the poverty trap and the trap of non-development, accelerate its industrialization process and agricultural modernization. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
State Minister of Finance Shahan Singh assured that until a new payment system is prepared, the allowances for kidney patients, the disabled and low-income elderly persons under the Aswasuma Welfare Benefit Program will remain unchanged. Under the Aswasuma program, provision has been set aside to pay these allowances to 647,683 people, and the payment will be made in the coming days. Accordingly, 517,962 elderly allowances, 88,602 disabled allowances and 41,119 kidney disease allowances will be given, including the waiting lists. Elderly allowances will be given from post officers and disability and kidney allowances from the divisional secretariats. Meanwhile, the resignation of the chairman of the Welfare Benefit Board will not delay the implementation of the program, as reported in the media, and the board consists of the chairman and 4 other members, Minister Singh has said. The Disaster Management Centre says that the people of 15 districts of the 8 provinces have been affected by the dry weather condition prevailing in the country. 54,979 families have been affected by this weather severely. The province has been affected mostly. 75,287 persons of Jaffna, Mana, Mullaitivu and Vavuniya districts have suffered from the dry climatic situation. Meanwhile, Manoj Induraratna, who is in charge of the Yala sanctuary, said that there is a shortage of drinking water for the animals due to the drying up of tanks and water ponds at the National Yala Sanctuary. As a remedy to this issue, 100,000 litres of water will be released to these tanks and water ponds daily. The Paddy Marketing Board has commenced the purchasing of paddy for the Yala season in the Anuradhapura district. Regional Manager of the Anuradhapura Paddy Marketing Board, Nimal Tendakon, said that paddy purchasing centres have been set up in Rajangana, Rambava and Padavi Parakrama areas. And that ends local news.
Listen, no fake news, false flags, it is the real thing. Breaking records, making history, you know we got the big bling. 10 billion bonus all across the island. Ka-ching! Not millions, talking billions, yeah, it is the big win.
History's highest ever sure bonus declaration for SLIC life policyholders in 2022 exceeds 10 billion rupees.
10 billion bonus gonna make your dreams come true. 10 billion bonus for you.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Kandy Asala Perahara festival starts today with the planting of cup at the auspicious time in the Satara Mahadevalayas. After the planting of cup, 5 internal Peraharas will be held in the Satara Mahadevalayas. Pradeep Nilangadala, the Devadana Nirmay of the Sri Darda Maligava, said that the ritual of planting cup in the Satara Mahadevalayas was done today at the auspicious time of 6:12 a.m. Peraharas of the Devalayas, the first Kumbal Perahara is scheduled to tour the streets on Monday. The Kumbal Perahara will parade the streets for 5 days from 21st to the 25th. Pradeep Nilangadala said that the Randoli Perahara will parade the streets on the 26th and the final Randoli Maha Perahara will be held on the 30th of this month. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
In Watchlight this afternoon, the residents of Matra says that it is a severe dearth for not having common sanitary facilities at the Mirijjawala junction at the Matra-Kataragama main road. It is the junction that will enter the Hambantota port. The residents have requested the relevant authorities to provide the necessary facilities to this area. This is for the attention of the administration authority of the Hambantota Pradeshiya Sabha, and that came to you in Watchlight.
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
On to world news. In the headlines, more than 60 migrants feared dead at sea off Cape Verde coast. British museum workers sacked over missing treasures. And Canada wildfire raised to evacuate city as blaze approaches. More than 60 people are feared dead after a boat carrying migrants was found off Cape Verde in South Africa. 38 people, including children, were rescued, with footage showing them being helped ashore, some on stretchers, on the island of Sal. Almost all those on board the boat, which was at sea for over a month, are thought to have been from Senegal. Cape Verde officials have called for global action on migration to help prevent further loss of life. The vessel was first spotted on Monday, police told the AFP news agency. Initial reports suggested the boat had sunk, but it was later clarified that it had been found drifting. The British Museum in London has sacked a member of staff, and police are investigating after treasures were reported missing, stolen or damaged. Items including gold, jewellery and gems of semi-precious stones were among those missing from the museum, one of the UK's largest tourist attractions. The majority of the items were kept in a storeroom, the museum said. British Museum Director Hartwig Fisher said the museum would throw out efforts into the recovery of objects. One of the largest cities in Canada's far north is being evacuated amid warnings that a wildfire could reach it by the weekend. The 20,000 residents of Yellowknife, the capital of Northwest Territories, have been given until noon Friday to leave. As of late yesterday, the fire was within 17 kilometers of the city. Another fire is threatening the community of Hay River. One evacuee told the CBC her car began melting as she and her family drove through embers while fleeing the town. The Northwest Territories declared a state of emergency late on Tuesday as it battles more than 200 wildfires. Back to the headlines of the world news. More than 60 migrants feared dead at sea off Cape Verde coast. British Museum workers sacked over missing treasures. And Canada wildfire race to evacuate city as blaze approaches. That ends World News.
Development News is brought to you by
Job opportunities from Deshakti Lanka in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman, including company housemaid, salary 156,000 rupees, 23 to 57 years. Contact 037 7500 500.
Minister Prasanna Rantunga has advised officials of the Urban Development Authority to prepare the Paliyaguda Town Development Plan, including the Western Development Plan. He also informed them to submit a relevant development plan project report before the 31st of December. He made these remarks at a discussion held at the auditorium of the Urban Development Authority recently. The aim of this move is to implement the Paliyaguda Town Development Plan at the first quarter of next year. And that was Development News.
Job opportunities for women from Deshakti Lanka in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Oman. Company housemaids, caretakers and home cooks in Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews are now on with foreign agents. You can now travel overseas free of charge. Branches, Colombo, Kurunagala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 037 7500 500. Deshakti Lanka Foreign Development Agency.
On to sports news. The final round matches of the Lanka Premier League LPL cricket tournament will commence today at the R. Premdasa Stadium. Accordingly, the Ambula Aura team is leading at the points table. The second place has been secured by Global Titans. Both teams will compete at 3 p.m. today, and the match between B Love Candy and Jaffna Kings will be held at 7:30 p.m. The winning team will qualify for the final match scheduled to be held on Sunday. And that was sports news.
Go ekatiyana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyameta set wenna as wahagena dakapu gina habe karanna youth ekat niyameta set wenna friendship එක menna.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The government has implemented a program to increase the income from the export of prawn cultivation. Accordingly, the Minister of Fisheries said that 2,000 tanks will be developed to cultivate prawns. It is expected to earn $400 million income under this program by next year. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekatiyana youth ekat life eke change ekat niyameta set wenna as wahagena dakapu gina habe karanna youth ekat niyameta set wenna friendship එක menna.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. A new department will be established to develop cinnamon cultivation. The Cabinet has approved the proposal submitted by President Ranil Wickremesinghe recently. The new department will provide facilities needed for the suppliers, cinnamon cultivators and exporters. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
Except for a few showers in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts, mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. Fairly strong winds, about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times in the northern, north central and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee and Hambantota districts. And that was the weather report. Prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. The President has announced plans to introduce a modernized education system in the country that can effectively address the upcoming global challenges and incorporate modern technology. China to help Sri Lanka address challenges of financial debt. Foreign Minister. Special notice on allowances for kidney patients, the disabled and the elderly persons. The Disaster Management Centre says that people of 15 districts of the 8 provinces have been affected by the dry weather condition prevailing in the country. The Paddy Marketing Board has commenced the purchasing of paddy for the Yala season in the Anuradhapura district. And on foreign news, more than 60 migrants feared dead at sea off Cape Verde coast. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.